Hello there, grumpy old fart here. It's a really good cup of coffee there with the old whistle. I'm doing an AD&D story, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons story. This really isn't a story, but I wanted to talk about this because it's important. And a lot of players and dungeon masters don't realize the potential of lightning and electricity in the game. So, just for a little bit of background here, in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, electricity has always been a potent weapon. Wizards use lightning bolts and electricity in various forms, like Shocking Grasp, the first level spell, Shocking Grasp. That's always been a staple. Clerics use electricity. Druids use electricity. Druids actually have a spell called Call Lightning. The spell calls a normal lightning bolt out of the sky. Okay? The spell is magic, but the lightning bolt is normal, which means it bypasses that pesky magic resistance. Just, food for thought there. Many monsters also use electricity. Blue dragons, for example, spit lightning bolts. Red dragons breathe fire. Black dragons spit acid. I've talked about them. Blue dragons spit lightning bolts. Lightning and electricity has been a staple in fantasy role-playing games forever. Okay, different magic items. You can cast a lightning bolt out of different items, things like that. It's been big forever. Now, some things many players and dungeon masters don't realize is that electricity is governed by scientific principles. Okay, water and metal are excellent conductors of electricity. Taking that into account, there's some things that I do in my games. Every dungeon master I've ever played under, I've played in a lot of different games. Every dungeon master that I've ever played under, has used these rules, and I adopted them into my game as well because they just fit so well. Okay, and it makes sense. It's common sense stuff. Metal armor, for example. If somebody's wearing metal armor like plate mail or chain mail or whatever, yeah, if you get hit with a lightning bolt, that doubles the damage. Same thing as if you're standing in water or if it's raining and you get hit with lightning, yeah, it's going to double the damage. If you're out in the middle of the desert and there's no rain or no water or nothing, and you're standing there in a loincloth and you get hit by lightning, it does normal damage. If you're standing in a mud puddle, for example, or say you're standing in ankle deep water and you get hit with a lightning bolt, yeah, it's going to do more damage. If you're wearing plate mail armor, it's going to do more damage. So what I do is very, very simple. Whatever damage they do, double it. Makes it a lot better, a lot more realistic. Another thing you want to consider is if you're standing in water, if a group of people are standing in water, and one person gets hit with lightning, and if he's wearing metal armor, yeah, that electricity travels through the water and everybody gets zotted. That's just a common sense thing there. Basically, they all take the same damage, whatever that damage is. When you're using electricity in the game, because metal is such a great conductor, I have seen people, for example, a wizard can use a dagger, right? That's one of their dagger, dart, and staff. So if a wizard with Shocking Grasp and cast on both hands, because they have this concept called precasting. Some spells, by virtue of the description, say if you cast it and then when you use it, it's done. Well, there's no defined length of how long it casts. So a lot of dungeon masters allow you to precast. So if a wizard has precast Shocking Grasp on both hands, and he has a dagger in his hand, okay, and he hits you like this with both hands, you get the advantage of the dagger with both Shocking Grasps at the same time. I don't usually play that way, but I know a lot of them do. I do the double damage if it's in water, plate mail, things like that. But I can understand Shocking Grasp, but two, I don't know, that may be a bit much. Again, these are all just suggestions. You don't have to do this. This isn't in the rules. So, But you also have to understand electricity is governed by scientific principles. if you have shocking grasp and you stab somebody with it, you know, and the impact there, intentional impact will release the shocking grasp through the dagger into the person. So just a little extra oomph for wizards, because at first level in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, once you use your spell as a wizard, you're pretty well done. You're a crappy fighter with a dagger. So any advantage they can give you, the better. You know, the better. Most of your higher level electricity wielding spells, one of the more nastier ones is called Chain Lightning. You have a group of players out there, you cast Chain Lightning. A group of bad guys, for example, you cast Chain Lightning. I'm used to playing it from the Dungeon Master's perspective, bear with me. But a group of people out there, and you cast Chain Lightning at one of them, it bounces among the group, doing damage and decreasing in damage as it goes. So, you know, it bounces between the different people. Well, if you have two guys wearing plate mail and they're standing next to each other and you hit it right there, if you read the rules, it goes by the most, what do you call it, the most conductive person next to them. So it'll go back and forth between those two. Yeah, those two guys are screwed because they're wearing plate mail armor, which means they're taking double damage. And the lightning stays just amongst the two of them. If nobody else around them is wearing metal armor, it's going to stay between the two metal parts because it's attracted to the metal. There's all kinds of neat ways you can do electricity in the game. I like to do the double damage for metal armor and standing in water and in rain and things like that because it adds more flavor to the game. As far as the players go, here's the kicker. The rules that will apply to the monsters also get to apply to the players. So if a monster is in the water and gets hit with a lightning bolt, it's double damage on him too. See, it's a double-edged sword. Okay, and if you have players that can take advantage of that, or you know have the wherewithal to do that, amen. More power to them. You know. So yeah, lightning in a game in Dungeons and Dragons can be very, very effective if used properly. Now, here's the bad part. If you're holding a metal implement and you know your buddy gets hit by lightning and the implement happens to be with him, you know, or you're standing next to a guy, all right, and you stab him with a spear, a metal spear, the whole thing made of metal, right? You stab him with it, and then somebody else hits him with lightning. Yeah, you're getting zotted too. Why? Because the electricity will travel along the metal implement right into your hands. Common sense. Scientific principles. But anyway, a quick perusal of any science book will tell you these facts, and maybe some more that I'm not aware of. And if you can put some stuff in the comments, amen, God bless you. I'll consider them. My contention is anything you can do to spice up the game and make it not so, just add different flavor to the game, okay? That's the beauty of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons over the later editions. The later editions kind of ruled and regulated everything to death. It was right there. You had rules for everything. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons didn't have so many rules, so the Dungeon Master could make the game his own. That's why I prefer it. That's just me. Anyway, I hope this finds everybody well, and if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, you're probably having fun. And I wish you more of that. Everybody needs to have some fun, especially in these days. You folks have a good day. God bless one and all.